it's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. Today we're doing a discussion on the recent Steel Essence nerfs. Basically went from unlimited amount of turn-ins per week to 25 turn-ins per week. We talk about what that means for you potentially going forward if you'd like to pre-farm Prime Accesses like most people do that do the Steel Path. Also, we talk about the history of Steel Essence nerfs, because this actually reminds me of one of the nerfs they did years ago that I covered on this channel that everyone basically tried to act like it never even happened, but it did definitely happen. We'll be going over this today as well, the Korra nerf. And also talking about how this solution that DE has made to a problem is, I think, a extremely poor solution, and it only just hurts the general player base, and the exploiters that they are trying to stop are just getting to run rampant even more than before now. So that's what we'll be going over today, Steel Essence nerfs. If you enjoyed these types of videos, make sure you sub to the channel. Also, check out the live stream channel. We do daily Warframe uploads here, and we do nearly daily Warframe streams on the live stream channel too, so go check that out if you want to. Alright, so Steel Essence nerfs. What happened this time? Well, as far as what we have to deal with, if you watch my previous patch notes overview video, there was a good amount of stuff in those patch notes, but one of the things that I noticed while reading those patch notes is that the Steel Path Honors now has a limit of 25 per week for each of the 10k Kuva and Relic Pack offerings. We go over the reasoning behind this. Just a reminder, it was infinite before. You could get infinite Kuva every week, infinite relics every week. There was no limit at all. And the main thing people would do for this is they would save up tons and tons of Steel Essence, and the day a new Prime Access comes out, for example, Hildren Prime will be the next Prime Access. Let's say they would save thousands of Steel Essence for Hildren Prime Access. Then the day it comes out, they go to Teshin and they turn in a bunch of Steel Essence relic packs to get tons of Hildren Prime relics, for example. Or when Wisp Prime comes out, Wisp Prime relics. That's what I was basically doing. I was storing up Steel Essence to when Wisp came out, I'd get a bunch of relics for her immediately and sell those Prime parts for a good price because people want to get Wisp Prime right away. So basically, that's being culled quite a bit here. We're going from infinite to 25. But the reasoning behind this is what makes me annoyed by this. It's like, why am I being punished because of exploiters? So I think there's a little bit more to it. We actually have some official responses, or maybe unofficial responses, from DE's official Twitch channel to someone in Twitch chat as well, from an actual DE employee. But first, let's go over the reasoning. We have made this change to Teshin's store as is an unlimited, or rather, it was an unlimited source of Kuva and Void relics in game. We took a careful look at Steel Path and decided that this would be the best method to ensure a small handful of players couldn't buy absurdly large quantities of these resources at once, without making changes that would affect all players on the Steel Path. So this is where I'm starting to get some problems with this. You read the actual reasoning behind it. They said, because of a small handfuls of players couldn't buy absurdly large quantities of these resources at once. Kuva and relics are apparently going to be over-purchased by... I'm just going to go ahead and say it. There are people that AFK macro the Steel Path. Literally overnight, the game is playing itself overnight, and I'm guessing this is happening because of those players. People that with, like, not even exaggerating, millions of Steel Essence. Me, someone that plays the game quite often, I don't even have anywhere near a million Steel Essence, and I turn it in, I mean, not super regularly, but somewhat regularly. So, just to show you how this works in game now, it's already been added. Purchase limit reached. Weekly purchase limit reached on Kuva. I cannot buy any more Kuva until, I guess, weekly reset or whatever. And I have the Steel Essence to do it. I'm not allowed to turn it in. So that'll be the Relic Packs. So you can get 25 of these per week. And just to put this in perspective, how much is that going to be Steel Essence wise? This will be about 300-ish Steel Essence per week. And that is really, that's about a 3-hour survival. As you can see in the picture right here. About a 3-hour survival on the Steel Path. You got your Steel Essence for the week. If you want to play for the rest of the week, you played your 3 hours of Kuva Survival, Steel Essence, Steel Path for the week. Good luck. You literally have to wait until next week. You are bottlenecked now unless you want to start buying those Relic Packs. But of course, people don't really buy the Relic Packs unless it's a new Prime Access. So that is going to be the big thing. But look at this as well. Okay, so they nerfed it. What did they add to compensate? Nothing. This Steel Essence store has basically never been updated. It's been updated like once ever. So what are you going to spend your Steel Essence on now? I guess you're gonna buy a Riven Cipher every week. I guess you're gonna buy some Arcane Lockers. We only get weapons, limited amount of weapons here and there. So I don't know. There's really not as much evergreen stuff. You buy your 25 here, 25 here. You have nothing else to buy besides, I suppose, the armor set if you haven't bought it already. But I don't want the armor set. So yeah. So let's go over what this reminds me of from years ago. Because, as I said, my current theory is from that reasoning and all that, it was done because of AFK macro players. And this is the second time AFK macro players have gotten the Steel Path nerfed. I'm going to go over this. This is from a while ago. If you've watched my channel for years, you might know about this. Years ago, the Steel Path AFK macro players got Cora nerfed. And everyone denied that she got nerfed. And then look at that, a year later after that, they unnerfed her. Cora's Whip Claw used to go through walls, no problem at all. And then for a period of time, it would be basically never going through walls. And then they made it, after that, they eventually made it to the way it is right now, where Cora's Whip Claw goes through walls pretty much most of the time. Sometimes it won't, but yeah, for the most part, this is the second time we've gotten a blanket nerf to the entire game because of exploiters. So I'm saying to DE, uphold your TOS. Quit making the Steel Path get nerfed over and over and over again because you can't uphold your TOS. You literally said a small handful of players. Am I in part of that small handful of players with only 4,000 Steel Essence? I don't think so. You clearly have the numbers of what these players are getting all this excessive amount of Steel Essence from. If someone's playing for 18 hours a day and 12 hours of that day or 12 hours of that play session is in one mission and they're doing it solo, you would think that DE would know what's going on there. I'm assuming that at this point, they can't even prove that people are doing these AFK macro things. So, I don't know. The thing is, too, if you do a 5-hour plus survival, you can get trade banned, too. So, I'm just confused. And then we get what DE said on their official channel in someone's Twitch chat. Basically, that people were getting mad that DE nerfed this. And then we had a community member ask the official Warframe Twitch channel, are you going to do this with Arby? I'll read their message. Will you be doing the same thing with arbitrations, or is it only really the relics you were worried about? Like I said, they're trying to make it Prime where people buy more Prime access, too, by limiting how many relics are given out on day one. And the official Warframe Twitch channel says Arby's will stay the same. So if Arby's are staying the same and there's no limit being added to Arby's, I mean, you could get arguably more Kuva from Arby's in the first place, if with an organized squad. So this reinforces the fact even more that I think this was done because of people who are exploiting the game with potential macros and stuff. The game is playing itself while they're sleeping. So, and then of course the second message is them just copy pasting the stuff from the patch notes. Didn't even want to get an actual response, just hit with the copy pasta. So I'm surprised they even said Arby's will stay the same. So basically Arby's are the new best Kuva farm because you're bottlenecked on Steel Essence for some reason, because DE can't uphold their own TOS, and this is like the third freaking time this has happened, where they can't uphold their TOS and everyone gets punished. Players like me, I basically get this just ruins Steel Path endurance runs for me. If I was to go long in the Steel Path mission, if you didn't know, it's about Kuva or Steel Path fissures, the longer you're in there, up to 9 minutes in for survival, you will be getting more Steel Essence from Acolyte kills. It goes up to 8 with a booster once you're 90 minutes into a Steel Path Kuva survival or whatever. So the point of there's really not much point to going late game in Steel Path anymore besides like, I just want to test these weapons out. This is a good fissure. It might not come back for a couple days. I'm going to grind this out while I can, but don't stay too long because you'll get trade banned. And they can apparently trade ban you if you're just in a mission for 4 or 5 hours, but they can't find out if someone is actually AFK macroing their game enough to actually get them banned. So instead, everyone gets punished. DE gets to also, kind of piggyback off of that, like, okay, less relics would be made for the new primes. We can potentially get more money. I mean, for me, this is not making me going to be more interested in buying Hildren Prime access. It's a real turn-off people that want to play the game. I'd say more than like, your average Joe casual player. 3 hours of survival in 1 week is actually kind of a lot for most players. But it's for in between. It's like, okay, I'm not a casual player. I'm not like a complete hardcore AFK macro person. I don't think don't even consider an AFK macro player like an actual player. That's just a bot. So in between a hardcore player that plays like every day, multiple hours a day, and like a guy that plays like 2 hours a week. People are in between that who are like trying to get like a good amount of Kuva per week. This was one of their main things to do every week. So DE, you are pushing players away with this change. The changes you've made to the game and the new content you've made to the game is not exciting. It's not engaging content. You added an Archon hunt that's 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour is generous. It's less than an hour of gameplay per week. And now you're limiting Steel Essence. So people that were playing the game, maybe it's like, okay, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna pre-farm the next Prime Access. I'm gonna get a bunch of Steel Essence, or I'm gonna get a bunch of Kuva. I like to roll Ribbons, even though Ribbon RNG is terrible. I like to roll Ribbons, get a bunch of Kuva, do some survivals with my clan, play, just have some fun. Okay, well, you could have 250k Kuva worth of fun per week if that's what you find fun in this game. So players like that, the in between, like pretty dedicated players, they're the ones that get hurt the most from this. Where it's like you at a certain point, it's diminishing returns on how much you're actually getting out of your time in those missions. You're gonna get your relic open, you're gonna get some neural sensors, but after you get 350, I think it's 350 Steel Essence per week, you are basically done until the next week. So this means if you want to be going forward, if you want to be, getting this, if you want to min-max your time and all that, what should you do? Oh, by the way, did I mention that they're deleting requests to unnerf this on the forums? I don't really have any proof of that because the comments got deleted. But yeah, DE is censoring and deleting feedback on the forums about this change. They're trying to sweep it under the rug, guys. Okay? It was, and to be fair too, I bet most players don't even know this happened because, like I said, it was just sprinkled in the patch notes. It wasn't like at the top of the patch notes in big bright lights. Kuva's getting nerfed. Steel Essence store nerfed, nerf. It's a random little line like 10 pages down on the actual patch notes. It's not a big feature of the patch notes. So the vast majority of players won't even know about this. And also the vast majority of players probably don't care about this. But as I said, it's more about those players that are really, invested in the game and are playing it a good amount every week. Maybe they're in a more higher MR clan where it's like, okay, we don't play normal path. Normal path is not worth my time. That's how I kind of feel personally. We only play Steel Path, Steel Path Endurance, Fissures, blah, 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 blah. Those types of players are the ones that get wrecked here, and the AFK macro players get to keep doing what they're doing, because apparently it's not a problem to DE. It's only a problem if it makes less people buying Prime Access. But here, if you want to be pre-farming Prime Access going forward, here's going to be your new best methods. And I mean, it already was one of the best methods before, but just going even deeper on it right now, you're going to be wanting to make sure your Syndicate Relic Packs are going to be maxed out all the time. So, for example, let's say we learn about Hildren Prime Access is going to be coming out, let's say, March 14th. I don't know. I just picked a random day. You want to make sure that your rep for the Syndicates is maxed out. So go to 132k, and you can buy Relic Packs from these guys for 20k rep each. That's going to be one of your best bets. And here's the other thing, too. So basically, stack this all the way up, and then while you're doing that, also be doing your Syndicate missions for the days as well. These reset daily. Go in these and just go find the medallions and stuff. I would say don't do ones like Interception or Disruption or whatever. Just do the fast ones like Rescue, Capture, Exterminate, etc. like that. This will let you go over the daily cap. Until they add a daily cap or a weekly cap on this too, right? So once you do that, you can go to your Syndicate of choice. So let's say I went to Parent Sequence.
We stand behind you.
Go talk to this guy that never has a good Ferox ever. He's always got like a 27% Ferox. And this will let you go above the daily cap. Or daily cap and like any other cap they add in. So this is one of the ways you can do it. This is already a thing, but now we have limited options compared to before. So you get your medallions, you go to one of these guys, and you can turn it in right here. So if I turn this in, it would be like, I don't know, extra 125k right there just from those turn-ins. So that's a couple of Relic Packs. You can also go to the open worlds. Every open world now will provide Relic Packs to you if you turn in, basically if you have rep. I think it's like 20k rep for those guys too. So for example, on Fortuna, go talk to the mining guy. On Deimos, go talk to Otak, I think their name is. And then I literally don't remember the guy for Plains of Eidolon. It's been so long. Old Man Sumbat, probably. This is going to be another method you can acquire Relic Packs from. But yeah, so basically Steel Path got hit really hard. I am definitely less incentivized to do longer runs in the Steel Path after this. At least for specifically Steel Essence. As far as other things are concerned, sure, that can still be pretty good. Here's the Relic Packs for Fortuna, by the way. So yeah, you can get Aya from this and all that. And yeah, but the thing is also, okay, I'm getting these relics. I have to open these relics too. It's a lot of time to open relics and all that and sell things. And if AFK macros are the reason this is done, doesn't DE realize you only have like 30-something trades per day too? Like, how broken do they think the market is really? How many people are AFK macroing? In their words, in a small handful of players. Why don't you find that small handful of players, DE, and ban them and not punish all of us? I think there's an ulterior motive of less relics, potentially more people buying Prime Access, maybe even potentially people buying higher prices for ribbons because there's less Kuva going around. I already did my 250k Kuva this week, and I already used it. Now, mind you, there are some new weapons that came out this week, so I wanted to roll some ribbons too. But yeah, really just not a good look. I wish that DE would actually give us a proper response on this, not just copy pasting what they put in the patch notes over and over again. I'd like some actual clarification from DE. This is the true reason why we nerf Steel Essence randomly this one day. In the lore even, is there any reason why Teshin decided to randomly stop liking us? He's like, okay, you know what, Tenno, you can have infinite Kuva up until today. Today, I don't like you anymore. From now on, you only get this much per week. That's what you get, Tenno. So, I don't know. It's a really bad look. It pushes players away. There's really not much to do in this game already. When you add the newest game mode is a snore fest, and that's the most fresh content we have in this game. The freshest content we have is jump back and forth between 2 rooms and pick up the gems. Pick up the gems is the newest content we have in this game. I would say that honestly, the Steel Essence nerf is a bigger change to the game than this game mode, Mere Defense, which, by the way, this is a permanent addition to the game, and it's extremely repetitive and boring. So, let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments down below. I've been talking about this a lot on stream, and basically, I think it's complete baloney, and I'm not happy with the change they made here. If they wanted to put a cap on it, 250, like, real talk, 250k is really not that much. Like I said, about 3.5 hour survival on the Steel Path with the booster, and, I think maybe make it, if the relics are a problem, dude, just make it where Teshin doesn't even give relics anymore. If that's the big problem, and Arby's are fine, make it where Teshin does not sell relics and get rid of that cap again, okay? So that might make it where less relics are in the wild, and that's increasing prime prices if that's what DE's trying to do here, which is what it seems like. I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate all the support, and yeah, take it easy. Peace.